Hi, my name is Dear Tiagi, and before I get started, I first want to say Happy New Year, and I want to thank you all for your support and watching all the videos this past year. 2025 was a fantastic year for this channel and its initiative, and I'm sure that 2026 will be an even better one because of your support, so thank you. Alright, so RC circuits, right? An RC circuit is a circuit with a resistor and a capacitor, and there are two kind of main states sorry, for this circuit. Right, the first state is charging. So when the switch is at the A position, right, the circuit's going to be charging because the battery is going to be providing a current and a voltage this way to the capacitor. But at the B state, when it's charged, right, it's going to discharge because there's no battery anymore. So at A, right, if we consider t equals 0, which is when we flip the switch to the A position, what's going to happen is that the capacitor, it has no voltage across it. So the current, which is flowing in this direction from the positive terminal, is going to be able to freely move through the capacitor, right? Because there is no voltage difference, so it's just able to go through the capacitor. And therefore, because there's no voltage difference across the capacitor acts as a bare wire. Okay? But then after long times, right, we call the steady state, a long time is steady state, there's going to be a voltage on the capacitor, and this voltage on the capacitor is going to be such that the max voltage you can have, right? And the current that we apply can't go past this capacitor because the voltage is the max voltage, right? And so because there's voltage, that's the max, the capacitor, right, the current can't go through, and therefore this capacitor acts as an open switch. Okay, so these are two really key concepts you need to kind of ingrain. At t equals 0, it's bare wire because there's no voltage across the capacitor. At steady state, the capacitor is an open switch because there's a voltage that the current we apply from the battery can't overcome. Okay, and one of the fundamental questions we have when we're looking at this is what is the charge as a function of time on the capacitor? Okay, and the way we approach this is by using Kirchhoff's loop rule. And this derivation is important, so you will need to know this for the exam. So to starting the loop rule, right, we'll start in this direction. Start with E, so we start with E, R, so this is a resistor, so minus IR gives us the voltage of the resistor. And then C, Q divided by C gives us the voltage of the capacitor. And it's equals 0 by the loop rule. And one thing I want you to notice is I use little letters, I and Q, for those values. And the reason why is because those are transient values, which means that as time changes, it's going to change that value. It's not constant because obviously, right, the current's going this way, and so it's going to change as time progresses. Okay? So from here, we have that E minus dq dt times R minus qc equals 0, right, because I is equal to dq dt. And this is actually called a differential equation. And I actually have a video on how to solve separable differential equations, which this is. So watch that if you want. But the idea is basically we're going to take our dq's and our q's on one side. We're going to take our dt's. There's no t's on the other side. And we're going to integrate then. Okay? So to try and do that, right, we move our dq dt to this side. We divide by r. We get dq dt is equal to e divided by r minus q divided by rc. Right? We can factor out a negative 1 RC. We get Q minus EC. Right now we have a Q by ourselves, so we can move it to this side, move the dt to this side. We get dq divided by Q minus EC is equal to negative t dt over RC. And now we integrate because we have dq and q on one side, dt, there's no t on the other side. So we integrate. And what are our bounds for this, right? This side is going to be 0 to q, right, because our function's q of t. This side's going to be 0 to t, because our function's from 0, time equals 0, to t, and the current's from 0 current to q current. So we're going to integrate like that. Okay? So if we integrate this, this is going to be ln q minus ec from q to 0 equals negative just t over rc. Okay? So this is going to become ln of q minus ec, and it's going to be minus ln of negative ec, so divided by negative ec. This equals negative t over rc. Where should I write this? I'll write this here. Okay, and then we exponentiate. we get that Q minus EC divided by negative EC is equal to e to the power of negative t divided by RC, multiply by both sides, and we move the EC to the other side. We get our function Q of t is equal to EC minus EC e to negative t RC. We can factor out this EC. And if you think about it, what does this EC mean? This EC value, right, that's going to be voltage times current, or voltage times capacitance, right? That's going to be our total max Q. Because our max Q on this capacitor is going to be the voltage we supply times capacitance. So it's going to be equal to QT, right? All I'm doing is factoring out the EC. QT is equal to Q max times 1 minus e to the power of negative t divided by RC. And this is our formula for the charge on the capacitor as a function of time. Okay? And one thing to note here is that the idea that at time equals 0, there's no charge holds for this, right? Because you plug in t is equal to 0, we get e to the power of 0 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So that holds. And then if we do a long time, right, what's going to happen is that this value, e negative t divided by RC, is it's going to become 0, right? And therefore, it's going to reach a max value of Q max. So that also holds there too. Okay? So from this, right, we can also find things like the voltage, right? Because voltage, again, this is EC. Voltage is equal to our Q divided by C. So voltage is a function of time. It's equal to E times 1 minus E to negative T divided by RC. And then we can also find our current as a function of time as well, because current is equal to dq dt. So if we take the derivative, we get that EC times, right, this is just a constant, so that becomes 0. EC times negative E to the power of negative T divided by RC times negative 1 over RC. Negatives cancel out, C's cancel out. We get E divided by R, right? E divided by R, that's equal to our current, initial current, right? Because initial current is going to be our max E divided by resistance, because it's a bare wire. So it's going to be equal to current 0 times E to negative T RC. And that's our formula for current as a function of time. Okay? And one thing to note here is that this RC term actually has a name. And what RC term is given the symbol tau, and it's called a time constant. So the idea with time constant is that instead of comparing the circuits like this, we can compare the circuits and see how they change as a function of time using this time constant. So the idea here with this time constant, we can compare how fast it's changing or how fast it's not changing, right? And the idea here is that at one time constant, or 1 tau, our Q is 63% of max, and then our current is 37% of our initial. And the way we figure this out is because if you plug in 1 tau, so again, this is tau, RC is tau, and then it's going to become 1 minus 1 over E of Q max, right, which is 63% if you do the math. And this one's going to become current initial 1 over E, which is 37% if you do the math. Okay, so that's the idea with time constants. And one more thing, we consider that 5 time constants, 5 tau, to be fully charged, right? Because the idea is you can never really fully charge it because this is going to be asymptotic if we think about it, right? The E negative T RC, it's never going to reach Q max actually because this is going to be an asymptote for it. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about discharging now. Let me just erase everything. Okay, so for discharging, right, we're in position B now. I need a new dry erase marker. This is not working. We're at position B, right? And so we're going to do the same thing again to find Q of T. So Q of T is going to be, loop rule. So we'll do the same loop again. Start from here, we get negative IR minus Q divided by C equals 0. We're going to do negative dq dt times R minus QC is equal to 0. And this one's a pretty easy differential equation to solve. All we have to do is move over the dq dt to the left side. This equals to negative Q divided by C. Then we move the Q to this side, everything else on that side. We get that dq divided by Q is equal to negative 1 divided by RC. Now we can integrate. Okay, but here our bounds are a little different, right? Here, our bound for Q is going to be from Q max, or Q initial, I guess, right? We don't know if we're at Q max. So Q initial to little q, time is going to be the same, 0 to t, right? Because we're starting with some Q, right? For discharging, we need to have some Q on the capacitor if we're going to discharge. And so now if we integrate that, we get that ln of Q divided by Q0 is equal to negative t divided by RC. Exponentiate, we get that e Q divided by Q0 is equal to e to negative t divided by tau, right, RC. And we get our function, right, Q of t is equal to Q0 times e to negative t divided by tau, which should look pretty similar to our function for current from before. And if we differentiate this, right, we get that current as a function of time is equal to, this is going to be our EC, this is going to be RC, right? So EC times e to negative t divided by tau times negative 1 over RC, cancels, cancels. E divided by R is, again, current initial. So this one equals current initial, negative current initial, right? Negative current initial times e to negative t divided by tau. Okay? And the reason why it's negative is because if we think about it, this side was positive before. So our current, when we're doing the charging, is going to be positive here, negative here. So now it's flipped, right? The current isn't going this way, or sorry, yeah, this way, right? It's not going this way because our positive charge is on this plate, and so it's going to be discharging in the opposite direction, which is why we have a negative sign for our current in this equation. But other than that, it's the same thing as before, it's just negative in the front. Okay? And one more key idea is that for other circuits, right, if you can have more different types of circuits, you can have more resistors, you can have them in parallel, capacitors, etc. But the key idea is that whenever you're solving these equations or trying to use them, all you need to do is you need to get them into equivalent resistances and equivalent capacitances. You can find your time constant from that, and then you can use these formulas to figure out, transient values in between. And yeah, that's RC circuits for AP Physics C. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye.